Hey everybody, welcome to blaquespan. Hope everybody's doing well today. And you can see by the topic, we are going to get down to the nitty gritty today, honey, because I've always wanted to know the answers to these questions myself. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let me come on the screen here. Oh, wait a minute. Hey y'all, so I'm here, and I was so ecstatic when I heard that Cynthia G was actually on. Make sure everybody can hear me. That she was actually on foxSoul because they need some realness over there because we know they fake as I don't know what. Just like when Kiki Whyte is her name, yeah, Kiki Whyte, the one that's but she must love being pregnant, girl. But anyway, that's something different. Excuse me. When Kiki Wyatt was on foxSoul, and that she was talking about her rant that she had calling the black guy chunky monkey, and she was talking with her Tennessee accent like this, and how she was a strong black woman. Her white mama raised her to be a strong black woman, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You know, nobody got down her throat like, bro, number one, you're biracial, you're not a strong black woman, and you're actually black passing because you will be closer to white genetically and phenotypically. But anyway, I've been wanting Cynthia G to get on Cynthia. I've been wanting Cynthia G to get on that council ever since. That was my British Jamaican accent. Y'all leave me alone. Okay, so let's get ready. Where's my watch? I must take off to wash the dishes. Okay, so let's go ahead and go straight into it. I already fast forwarded a little bit to the part where they actually start the video because this was very interesting. If I do say so myself, and I couldn't wait to actually watch it because when I found out the live was going on, it was too late. The live was over, so I was like, oh my god, I had so much I would have said in those comments. I'm telling the comment sections up, honey. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's move this over. Let's move this here. And then, well, I don't care about being on the screen. Bam.
The one drop rule says if you have even one ancestor who is black, you are black. But why doesn't that principle play to any other ethnicity? Some people are saying now that the opposite should happen. That if you're not 100% black, you are not black. Ouch. I myself think we should all be able to identify as whatever the hell we want. However, you can clearly define some.
It's funny how they say we should be identified by whoever we want, but you can't. I hope there's a white person on this panel because I would like to know why their biracial brethren is not allowed to be white. You know, why can't biracials claim white? And I would love to ask a white person that, but let's go ahead and we should be able to claim whatever the hell we want. No, you should proudly claim whatever the hell you are. You know, that's how we get Rachel Dolezal talking about she's transracial. Like, what the? You know what? I'm trying to stop cursing, so let's get back.
Someone's ethnicity by the color of their skin, or can you? Let's get down to business.
You can't tell someone's ethnicity by the color of their skin. You can assume it by the color of their skin, but let's just, you know what? Let's go. I want to see who the panel is.
Of being black today is defining the ethnicity of biracial people.
Rennie.
Please welcome content creator Tony Brien. Hi, Tony. Hi, how are you? Good. Criminal justice activist Mona Lisa Johnson is with us again. Hi, Mona Lisa.
Okay, we got a white woman.
NAACP Image Award nominated actress Crystal Jasmine on deck. Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Tammy. How are you today?
Wonderful. And influencer and YouTuber Cynthia G is down. Hey, Cynthia.
Hey, I'm just happy to be here.
Well, good. Let's make this happen. So my first question every show is, why should black people care? Why should black people care what biracial people are identified as?
Black people should care what biracial people identify as because they're not black. If it's okay for them to for Europeans to create the one drop rule to protect whiteness, why is it frowned upon when black people want to protect blackness? Why is it a foreign concept for us to, particularly black women, want to protect blackness? Because, black men, to tell you real quick, them biracial men are not black. However, it's frowned upon for us to protect our blackness. Like, that's crazy. I'm the gatekeeper of my identity. Point blank, period. I know better now when these white women tell me that they black. And for her to say that, I don't... Move my face off this hill. For her to say that, I don't think I'm questioning her blackness. Is she full black? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Then why this white lady like an angry bird and this biracial? I'm curious to see what this white lady gonna say though. Okay, so let's get back into it.
Hold on. Girl. Thank you so much to Ava the Fulani. Thank you so much for your generous super chat. Like, honestly...
What's going on here?
When somebody do that, you gotta stop the show and thank them. Thank you so.
What just happened? I do be clicking on shit on accident. Oh, okay, is this a commercial?
This groundbreaking teeth cleaner is disrupting the dental industry. This brand new teeth cleaning invention is taking over the dental care market. It can remove tartar, plaque, and even yellow stains in seconds, all from the comfort of your home.
My computer is like going slow for some reason. It never does that. I don't know. My billing cycle is not almost over.
See the difference for yourself.
Maybe because I double clicked. Okay, so anyway, come on, Eagle.
So much for the generosity. I appreciate everybody who comes on here contributing. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're not going to do the buffering. We're having inclement weather out here that may have something to do with it as well.
Now, without being crucified. So when it comes to being black, it doesn't...
that, of course, we're going to...
If I was smart, I would have watched it and put timestamps in it. But you know how I do.
Because of the skin tone hierarchy. So dark-skinned black men are never going to have to compete against light-skinned black men for the black title because all of those positive experiences in society. The reality is biracial is not black, it's biracial. And I don't understand.
Okay, here we go. I love when seeing talk, baby.
With, Mona Lisa, although she presents as a white woman, saying that she's black. Because they don't
that lady is not fancy black.
Who cares? They
playing.
Those type women to represent black women anyway, because that's why they're creating them. They want them to replace you. And so black men aren't going to give any pushback. Black men are going to be the fuel to the fire of these biracial women thinking they're better than black women, which is really what they really do believe. It's fine for them to come into the black community because, they're going to be upholded as better.
What's interesting about all of this, it seemed like as long as there's some sort of...
Behind the scenes, there was a discussion where, after we went to break, she was like, well, a white person can be African and black people come in many different colors. And standing for something, I should not be...
Where is...
That's because black people haven't protected it.
And it's funny that...
Did I miss it? Let me see if it's on foxSoul.
I don't even think she's playing a black woman in that movie. Or if she is, it's some... You know what I'm saying? She understands...
NAACP Image Award nominee. What? Well, we know the NAACP was made by W.B. Bitch Ass Du Bois, so... I'm trying to stop cursing. So we already know that's the typical phenotype of someone that will be awarded on that on that in that society or social group or whatever you want to call it. What I'm supposed to do? I put foxSoul and then what, Cynthia G? Or Business of Being Black, or what's her name? Tammy Mack? Okay. Taz went over. I'm gonna watch this.
Hey there, it's your curl girl here. So I found this new curly hair product online. It's called Lit Curls. If you're wearing your hair natural and you're in...
So, you know, them biracials, they get them a tan, honey. Baby, them biracials get them a tan, and they look just like that, honey. When was her hair like? What was her shade?
Welcome to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I'm Tammy Mack. So the one drop rule says if you have even one ancestor who is black, you are black. But why doesn't that principle play to any other ethnicity? Some people are saying now that the opposite should happen. That if you're not 100% black, you are not black. Ouch. I myself think we should all be able to identify as whatever the hell we want. However, you can clearly define someone's ethnicity by the color of their skin, or can you? Let's get down to business. The business of being black today is defining the ethnicity of biracial people. Please welcome content creator Tony Brien. Hi, Tony.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Criminal justice activist Mona Lisa Johnson is with us again. Hi, Mona Lisa.
Hello, Tammy. Thanks for having me again.
NAACP Image Award nominated actress Crystal Jasmine on deck. Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Tammy. How are you today?
Wonderful. And influencer and YouTuber Cynthia G is down. Hey,
I hope
Cynthia.
they ready for this talk, baby.
I'm just happy to be
Where's the
here.
live chat?
Well, good. Let's make this happen. So my first question every show is, why should black people care? Why should black people care what biracial people are identified as? Cynthia, kick us off.
Kick us off.
Well, black people should absolutely care, particularly black women, because what we're seeing is the biracial identity being black, it affects black women primarily.
Exactly,
it does not really affect black men. You don't have white women or Asian women or Hispanic women having to complain about people taking their identity. So this mostly affects black women. And we should care because of our experiences. There's a certain experience that comes with being black. And when you have biracial people identifying as black, it creates a caste system within the black community. We have an issue with colorism. So essentially the biracial people tend to present as the better version of a black person, specifically a black woman. And this affects whether we're getting jobs, whether we get acting, who's representing identity, whether certain skin tones are being left out. So we should definitely care. This has a lot to do with not just our identity, but our experience in society. The reality is biracial is not black, it's biracial. And I don't understand why there's such an issue with biracial people identifying as biracial. I think when we get into this discussion, to get to the core of it, we should also be asking, why aren't biracial people identifying as white when they have a white parent?
Why should black people care, Crystal?
Honestly, you know, Cynthia, I'm not going to lie. A couple things you just said kind of strung a chord for me because, you know, although my mother is a fair-skinned woman, she is not just white. You know, she looks white, but she's very curvaceous, and you can tell that she's mixed. My mother is...
Since when is a body shape antiquated with your race? When is that? I've seen black women with flat booties and fat booties. I've seen Mexicans with flat booties and fat booties. I've seen straight up whites. I've seen whites, no matter regardless of nationality, with ample shapes. And I've seen some with none, especially in the day of cosmetic surgery. So what does her body have to do with it?
European, and she's also Bayesian, so she technically is a
Bayesian? I've never heard of a Bayesian. Like, what the fuck is a Bayesian? Y'all, I know what is a Bayesian? I have to see what a Bayesian is, because unless you're saying she's a whiten, like, what is a Bayesian? Let's see. Is it beige like beige? I don't know. I don't know how you would spell Bayesian. Put person behind that, because I know that's spelled wrong. Oh, from Belgium. Bitch, Belgium, isn't that in Germany? Like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. She's white. If she's Belgian, if she's from any of these countries, yeah. She's from Western Europe. Bitch, are you serious? She is literally from the Caucasus of the mountains. She's curvaceous, but she's Bayesian. Bitch, she is white. The fuck? Bayesian is, girl. See, this is why I like to look up stuff, so we can all be on the same page. Homegirl mama is white. I don't care if she's busty, curvy, or even tanned. If she is Bayesian, she is from Belgium, and she is white. Is that Belgians? Okay, so let's see. Yeah, because it corrected me. Like, Bridge, I don't know what you're talking about. There is no Bayesian. So she has to be a Belgian. And she didn't want to say Belgian straight out because it's not going to suit her opinion. I mean, her
biracial woman herself. It makes it very tricky as far as identifying.
So if your mother's a biracial woman, then how's it tricky? You're biracial. If you're the seed of your mother, then you're biracial. You're what your mother is, right? Because you're definitely not the seed of your father. They go by the mother. Your mother incubates you. You're in her womb for the longest. You get your mitochondrial DNA, your lack of mitochondrial DNA from her. And you don't have any melanin or mitochondrial DNA. You have few melanin. That's the white melanin.
Identifying, with which culture, because I feel like we should be allowed to identify as all of it. We should be allowed to identify as black if we want. My father's Nigerian. I have 8 siblings. I am literally the only one that is this fair complected, and it wasn't by choice. So it gets really tough, because it's like sometimes you want to be able to identify with either side. I mean, technically, if you...
So you want to be able to identify with either side. So you want to be able to flip-flop and use blackness to suit your narrative or to gain or receive privilege. Is that what you're saying? I want to be able to do both. Bitch, just be one. Biracial. Be what you are. But okay. Let me stop cursing.
You want to bring it down to a percentage. I am more black than white, but my complexion doesn't show that.
See, more
so
black
why
than white.
should black people care, Mona Lisa? Why should black people care what biracial people identify as?
I think black people should care about what multicultural and biracial people identify as, because we're human too. We want to take a place in this life as well, and we want to identify as being something just like everyone else wants to identify.
Yeah, identify as being biracial. We, as speaking from a black female perspective, I want you to be with you what you are. You're biracial. Be biracial. Why do you have to say, I'm black or I'm white? Now, I understand that on the cast side, a lot of this is black women's fault because we allow them in our spaces, and we have only, but in the last maybe 5 years, have started to tell these biracial women, nah, you're not biracial, you're black. Just like they co-opted the natural hair movement. They just trying to co-opt our whole race. So it's like when you put a biracial woman like Thandi Newton in a role that was created or written for, I think they typecast changed it, because I think it was originally written for a white man. But when they go and try to cast for a black woman and you pick Thandi, then this is what we're talking about. If Thandi isn't black, she's biracial. So say you want to classify a biracial or cast that biracial for this role, and do that. But don't say that she's a black woman, because she's not. You know what I'm saying? I have a black mother and a black father, so I'm black. And if you're black, what? Am I blacker? Am I the blackest? Like, I blame shows like Blackish and stuff like that. It's just confusing these people. The father's not telling them, the mother's not telling them.
But we don't want to be pigeonholed into making a choice. Like, my father is African American and my mother is Italian. And from I'm from the 60s, born in the 60s, shall I say. And from that very moment, especially in the 80s and in the South, I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice when I went to the driver's license bureau on whether or not I was a white woman or a black woman. And when I spoke to the woman at the counter, I said, "Hey, I'm mixed. You know, I'm biracial, and in those days we called ourselves half breeds. And I don't want to make a choice as to whether or not I'm black or white. I want to choose both." And she says, "Honey, if you got 1 ounce of black in you, baby, you just got to put black. So mark."
She lying. I don't care what decade she went to the DPS office, honey. Unless she went up there and asked this lady a question, I guarantee you she could have checked white. Look at her. I can imagine she looked even whiter when she was a kid before she started tanning and bronzing. She could have, especially with this blonde hair, she needs to comb that shit. What did she do? Scrunch it up with a towel so she can look more ethnic? Because, bitch, that shit is straight and stringy. She used a lot of mousse and a bunch of dry towels. She probably them to snatch her out to get the look this messy. It looks terrible, sis. Flat iron that fucking shit. Blow dry it out. Stop playing me. Get you some palmitoyl serum and straighten that out because that looks terrible. Number one. Okay, so we already know that she is black identified, but it wasn't by choice. And then she gonna say this black woman, you can tell by how she's moving her neck, honey, which is an insult anyway. So no driver license person forced you to put black. I've put indigenous on my shit a bunch of times, and on my ID, I have an old driver license. It didn't say black, and when it said black, I went back and changed it. Like they just fit to stamp their paper, move on. They seeing thousands of people a day. They're not fit to stamp. Look, baby, if you mix them, look, put black on there or check other and write it in. What other has always been on the application. Especially if she's saying she's in the 60s, then they identified them separately from black. They said they were octoroons, quadroons, mulattoes. So Negro wasn't her only choice. She could have just put white. That lady wouldn't have said nothing. She would have stamped that paper, put white on that driver's license. It would have been over and done with. Now I'm gonna read this comment real quick.
And then she said, "Next." That's why
she sound like she.
So let's read this comment real quick from Rennie. Absolutely, there are so many different experiences they won't ever experience. Exactly, they'll never get the black experience. This lady right here is nominated for an NAACP Image Award. This is a white lady. She is black. She is black passing. She black fishing. You know, they're not going to get pulled over by the cops. They can pretend to be anything. That's when they'll hop out their blackness real quick. But when it comes down to being awarded and awarded or receiving some type of accommodation or reward or an appreciation for blackness, then they are for it. However, when it comes down to actually being treated black in society, I bet they hop out that shit quicker than they hopped in. Hopped in it like it was 3 feet of water and you wasn't scared to get wet. But they ain't feel like hopping that 16 feet at that deep end of that pool. So I definitely agree with you, Rennie. They want to be black when they feel it's beneficial. That's exactly what I said. Yep, it never benefits us to go anywhere and say that we're black. Exactly. She already said that her mom isn't black in her own description. Yeah, it sounds like she was describing a white woman to me too. So it is what it is. We're gonna find her Instagram and look at this mother. So is this Tammy Mac? No, whatever. Let's see. Because I had looked up earlier. Here we go. So look, my computer's acting crazy. I'm glad it's black. Bitch, no. This better not be her mama. Let's see. No, it's not her. Oh, my best friend. Oh, so best friend. Oh, my earth angel. My never decide the right son time without attached. Thank you. Being my mom. Okay, this is her mother. This is a white lady. I'm sorry. This is a white lady. Y'all both have y'all straight hair. She looks just like her mom. That's a white lady. And then she's dead? You mean to tell me you are shaming your white mama in her death? Where is she fine at, number one? Curvaceous where? That's a white lady. Look at that old skin. That's a white lady. That's a white lady. Bro. Yeah, she's a Bajan, all right. Beige as hell. Come on now. You look just like your mom. How dare you discount her and her raising you? I'm pretty sure your black father abandoned you. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we doing? I want to see this goddamn movie that she's nominate the NAACP award. It better not be no black housemaid. That lady is white. She's not mixed. She might be multicultural, raised in different cultures, but she's her biology. She's white by race. Okay, so what's her name? Let's go to what is it? IDM. Shit, the fuck, I don't know the movie thing. IMB. Okay, there it is. So it's DB. Okay. What movie she nominated for Image Award, girl? Raised in Oakland by a single mother, bitch. You claiming this Nigerian father riding his dick as if he helped raise you, girl. I'm done. Let's go back. See, this bitch is already lying. And she probably said Nigerian because they just think that Nigerians are so black, but Nigerians is whitewashed. Nigerians worship whiteness just like the American black male. So, like, what the fuck what is going on? So, where are the white people at? Now, I wanted a real white mother, white father, white person to come on here and ask why can't these people be white? But okay, let's go.
She was a black woman.
She was a black woman. And I was like, how do you feel it? Okay.
Okay, she clearly didn't want you on her side of the fence, that's for sure.
She sure didn't. Y'all heard that? So the DMV story that she just said, honey, if you got an ounce of black, she just said that was a white woman talking to her at the DMV. So she was protecting whiteness right then and said, bitch, you better fucking claim black, because bitch, you can't come over here and talk about you white. So check Negro, bitch. Next. She gatekept her identity. Like black women need to be doing. Claiming all these goddamn biracials. Look at Cynthia's face. I fucking love her. Look at her face like this, bitch. Y'all. Like, I've been waiting to see this.
About how biracial people are identified.
Yeah, so I totally agreed a lot with what Cynthia was saying. I feel as if it gets problematic, especially for people who are fully black, not being able to get a seat at the table, I should say. A lot of opportunities are taken away from fully black women, primarily because they, especially when it comes to media, someone that is half black will get like more of an opportunity than a fully black person because they are deemed as someone that is considered more attractive, or because they have more European features, or whatever non-black features that they have is considered better. So though I do feel as if mixed people should be represented, I do feel that it does take away from black women when they are considered just fully black or just a black person in general.
There's a lot to unpack here with what everyone has said. So I want to start with what Crystal said. Crystal said, listen, I have siblings who are much darker than me, and I'm the only one that's this fair skinned, and I didn't choose to be this color. I didn't choose to come out this way. But when you talk about it, Tony, you say that her being a light-skinned black girl, takes away opportunity from those who are 100%.
She's not a light-skinned black girl. I hate how they try to always make this shit like it's some light skin versus dark skin. This lady, trying to stop cussing, but they provoking me at this point. You know what I'm saying? They threatening my blackness. They trying to colonize my blackness. I get upset with that. Bro, she's not a light-skinned woman. Sin is a light-skinned woman. She has 2 black parents. She is light-skinned. Her sisters are different shades of black. Okay? They are black. They are a black family. We are family. Hey, hey. To my sisters and me. Hey, hey. Okay, I can sing. Don't hate. So, I don't own the rights to that music that I just sung off tune. I don't know if I have to say that or not, but whatever. So, it's like you are trying to co-opt my blackness in front of me. That's why I'm wondering if this lady is black. Because she know goddamn well those are no light skin. They're not red bones, yellow bones. They are white bones. White bone is what he wants. Stop saying that she light skinned. Stop it. Stop it.
Black in tone, I should say, who are not biracial, I want to say. But how is that Crystal's fault? It seems like you might be suggesting that it's America's fault, because if they give her an opportunity because she's prettier by what the system says is prettier, she has access to more jobs, and so she should identify as white so that she can't be a minority, and minorities are still allowed to have those jobs. Those spaces are still open. Is that kind of what you're suggesting, Tony, or am I way off base?
No, I'm more so suggesting that I feel that biracial people should be able to identify as biracial versus them just having the label as I am a Black person, because sometimes they are forced to select that. I honestly feel that people should identify with what they most closely identify with.
No, they shouldn't identify with that closely. See, I don't like that. I don't like how she's pandering for them and she's quintessentially backtracking. No, they shouldn't be able to identify what they closely identify as, because that's what these black pass and biracials down below in the chat at the bottom of the panel are doing. No, they should not be able to. I don't give a fuck what you feel like. You know what I'm saying? You are a white woman. Or you are a biracial woman. I feel like a bird. I'm a whole human. I feel like a bird. I'm transbirdial. And if you don't respect my birdism, then you are a bird hater. You are a trans bird homoerotic person. You know what I'm saying? You're not allowing me to be you. You are creaturism. That's what it is. You are functioning as creaturism. If you don't allow me to change, it's speciesism. It's speciesism because you don't respect the fact that I'm a bird. Bitch, I'm a whole black woman. And if I look stupid talking about I'm a bird. Just like y'all are whole biracials looking dumb as hell talking about, oh, I'm black. If y'all want to be black because y'all are worshipped by men over here, if you go to the white society and be white, you're just going to be another white girl. And you're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole because you do got that Negro in you somewhere. I want to see her daddy now. I don't even think he's Nigerian. He might have been born in Nigeria. And I don't like how Nicole is pandering. Tony. I don't like how Tony is pandering for them. You shouldn't be able to identify what you feel like.
And same with Crystal saying that she has other siblings that are darker. And they may just want to say, hey, I'm a Black person. I feel like you should.
Darker? Darker isn't tan? I want to see these dark-skinned siblings. We're going to go back and look on her page. I want to see these dark-skinned siblings. Show me these dark-skinned siblings. Comments are limited. I bet the hell they is. You lying on this dead lady. Shame on you. How do you get out of this? It's a colleague she's acting with. Okay, that's a commercial. NAACP is nominee. Well, I don't want to get no copyright strikes playing the people stuff on my YouTube. Come on, little pukey booty. Yeah, she better not put them damn siblings on here. Girl, talk about the cultural appropriation of it all. Then you can't tell me this lady is not tanned and bronzed. Like, stop, because when she's in a picture with her mama, she looked a lot white paler. Yeah, she ain't put them siblings on this goddamn page. We're going to look up Mona Lisa next. But we
should identify with whichever component you feel that you closely feel connected to. But in a lot of references in media, and it's not any biracial person's fault and it's not a Black person's fault, but in media and what is displayed on, whether that's movies, television shows, social media, all of that, the person that's mostly shown are people that are mixed and they are labeled as Black people. And they're like, hey, well, we gave Black people a role, but it's like, no, that's not a fully Black person. And that's more so goes into colorism, I feel, more so than someone being biracial or someone being a Black person.
Cynthia, you said Black people have an experience of their own. It's a culture for the most part. And I've talked about this on my show before. And some people are saying, especially in today's world, there are Black people who don't have the same experience, who aren't bound by the same cultural experiences. And so how do you address that?
Well, here's the thing. Cultural experiences are important, but your actual racial makeup is important as well. And so myself, for example, I am a Black woman, but I grew up in a white suburb. So, I mean, technically I can say I didn't experience for a lot of my life, I didn't experience what other Black people who grew up in different areas may have experienced, but I'm still a Black woman. I'm still going to own my identity. I'm just not sure why it's an issue for biracial people to identify as biracial. That's what I'm having the confusion with, because, you know, and it's what Tony said, where they're getting certain privileges based on their proximity to whiteness, but their identity is Black. And we already know how much Black women have had to struggle in this country for accomplishments, for recognition, for praise that we still don't get. So to have non-Black people move into that space, because there are no parameters on it. You have Rachel Dolezal saying that she's Black. You'll have full-on white people saying that they're Black for the purposes of getting benefits that may come with it, but they have no connection to it. And we have to think about the parents of the biracial person. Most biracial people have a white mother and a Black father. They have a high rate of single mothers. So you have essentially Black women having their minds molded by white women. And a white woman isn't going to give a Black identity. So most of the time, like, they don't relate to Black women. They're lumped in the category of Blackness, but they understand it's their proximity to whiteness that they can actually essentially weaponize against actual Black people.
How can you say that, Cynthia, when your
Hold on, pause. Like, I want to expound on what she just said. Like, yeah, it's like even Black women have to take their responsibility on their love for whiteness, and the fact that this is really why they get to identify as Black. We accept them. Let's not act like we don't accept them. You know what I'm saying? Now, we accept them, but we don't allow them to, we're not giving them full range to come in and say they're Black. We're just accepting them because, you know, your white people don't love you. They don't accept you. And, you know, we're sorry for that. But, you know, you can come over here and chill with us because we're not going to do you like that. Because we don't, you know what I'm saying? We're not that harsh, or we're not racist. We have our own Black experience, so we know how it feels. So that's why we allow them to come and join and commune with us. But to come and join and commune with us, then disrespect us by saying, oh, I am Black too. Now, see, now, pause, bitch. See, that's, I cursed again. Pause. See, that's where you took my kindness for weakness. Like, just because I allowed you to come over here and hang out, that didn't mean come over here and say that you're me, and then try to take my accolades, try to make your hair the poster child for my natural hair, when this is what Black natural hair looks like. Now they equate Black natural hair with this mess. She need a bus. Somebody get this girl a Babyless bow dryer. I'm just like, God damn, I can't look at it no more. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Proximity to whiteness is more than the average Black woman as well. How do you hold
Girl,
those
no,
same
she
Black
not saying that. No,
it's really not though.
How's she gonna say because Cynthia is light skinned that she has a proximity to whiteness? No, she don't. She got 2 Black parents. She pulled over them cops. She a nigga. When these other 2 light skinned heifers at the bottom, these biracial heifers at the bottom get pulled over, they see an exotical, the propensity to be closer to white than Negro. Stop it. When was the last time a dark skinned Black woman got the NAACP Image Award? Did Rachel Dolezal get that award too? Come on. Get us in.
Average makeup of a Black person in this country, because of, we know the history, is about 25% white. Mine is about 19. So I actually don't have the average makeup. We can even still say I have the average makeup. Oh, that's fine.
Okay, so now they're trying to be funny about putting a dark-skinned Black woman on there if she's saying that she has the average makeup or doesn't have the average makeup. You know what I mean? That you see that, you saw that shade? Fox, it's Fox. We know how they get down.
But when I present very differently than a biracial person, I am obviously very aesthetically Black. It is clear that I have 2 Black parents, which your average biracial person is not. They carry, especially given the fact that when the creation of a biracial person is happening, you have a Black person who is partly white too. So that Black person's white genetics is going into it as well as the white person. So what ends up happening is...
We'll get to see what Crystal has to say when we return. We've got to take a quick break, Cynthia G. Didn't mean to cut you off. We'll be right back on the...
Oh, just when she about to go in and say, you know, that little dormant little black that everyone thinks, white that everyone has in them, is mixing with that 100% white, making it 120% white. So technically, you are more white than anything anyway, because your black parent has that little bit of European DNA in them as well. She was about to go in on them, and then all of a sudden it's a commercial. But okay, y'all.
Business of being Black to see how Crystal feels about all of this. Girl, your emotions should be swelling up over there. Swelling! Because you ain't Black.
All that you did before you went on break, you should allow Cynthia to finish.
Welcome back to the Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I'm Tammy Mack, and the Business of Being Black today is defining the ethnicity of biracial people. Please welcome content creator Tony Brian, criminal justice activist Mona Lisa Johnson, NAACP Image Award nominated actress Crystal Jasmine, and influencer and youth.
Meet your next pillow. Why do we make our pillow in the shape of a cube? I'll tell you. The problem with pillows is that you're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole, or rather a pillow-shaped peg into a shoulder-shaped hole. This is Sydney.
Hello. YouTuber Cynthia G. Crystal, a lot said here about you being able to identify yourself as biracial. What is your preference? Would you prefer to be identified as Black, white, or biracial?
You know, I had to take some deep breaths during that break. I'm literally sweating over here from everything that was said. I was doing my best to remain professional and not just interject myself. Me personally, I feel forced to say biracial a lot of the times. You know, I personally like to identify as Black, and I have an amazing...
She feel forced to identify as biracial? You're being forced to identify with what you are? What's your amazing reason?
Like, I feel like, you know, Cynthia, from her personal experiences, might be on base, but from, you know, I feel like it is a huge generalization for a lot of biracial people. You know, me personally, my father's Nigerian, like I said. He is not mixed with white in any way, shape, or form. I grew up celebrating Kwanzaa. He has African names for all of me and my siblings. You know, so I grew up celebrating those types of, you know, cultural differences. My mother, she may be biracial and seen as white in society, but she herself was raised by my grandfather that's a Black Panther. So to say that, you know, white people or white women are, you know, subjecting the Black children to...
Hold on. Didn't IMDb, whatever the hell that did, just say that she was raised, excuse me, that she was raised by a single mom? So that means your father, she got the same Black man. Your father impregnated your mother and left her in the hood, because she said her things at Oakland, California, left her in the ghetto to raise your ass while he moved on and impregnated others. That's why you got darker siblings, probably because they're Black. Come on. Your mama was probably a Trixie Rosie, messing with somebody she knew was married. We don't know. She not gonna tell us. And the poor lady dead, and you just steady claiming her to be another race that she actually is to suit your own narrative. What type of person are you? Shame on you, Crystal Jasmine.
White ideals is not always true. My mother was very much raised as a Black woman herself. Like, people hear my mom talk and they're like, where are you from? What are you mixed with? Because there's nothing white about her except for the tone of her skin.
So there's nothing right about her. I mean, what you trying to say? She act like a ghetto Black girl? This is what I'm getting. See, Black people don't describe each other with stereotypes. We don't call each other loud, ghetto, nappy hair. Attitude. We definitely don't use attitude. You know what I'm saying? We don't do anything to uphold those stereotypes when speaking on each other or to each other or about each other. We don't describe ourselves in that stereotypical manner. So that's how you know she's not Black. That's how you know her mother is not Black. Like, she's full of it at this point. How is your white mother raised to be a Black woman? Like, y'all stop it. Just because you were raised around Negroes don't make you Negro. And the only reason, and I'm pretty sure she didn't stay in Oakland, California long. So I'm pretty sure she used that white privilege to get the hell up out of there. Girl.
Barely, So to say that,
barely white.
Me being biracial, having a white.
Let's go back to this lie. Barely white. Your mother is barely white. Bro, your mother is white. This woman is not barely white. That's not barely white. This isn't barely white, bro. This is blonde hair and blue eyes. This isn't barely white. Every time she lie, I'm going to come over here and show her her white mama what her lying is. I don't want to see this Nigerian dad because now I don't believe him.
White mom means that I have these white ideals and that my father wasn't present or didn't raise us with any other,
Because, Charlie Thorzine, whatever her name is, she claims African, but 2 white people gave birth to her in Africa. So I want to see her daddy. Because being Nigerian is a nationality. I want to see his race. Since she lied so much.
Ideas as far as our Black history is very upsetting, and it's like I have full-blood siblings that are much darker than me. We were raised exactly the same. Why do they get to identify as Black and I don't?
What do you identify as?
I identify as Black.
Mona Lisa, how do you feel? Jump in here.
Well, I'm feeling the same way. I'm sweating over here. I don't even know why. When I start talking about this whole subject, it makes me really filled with anxiety because, ever since I was younger, I've never been Black enough. I've never been white enough. And
I'm so sick of this shit. I ain't never been Black enough. I ain't never been white enough. Bitch, claim what you are enough of. You are enough of biracial. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm all these biracials say I wasn't Black enough, I wasn't white enough, bitch. But you perfect to be a biracial. You biracial enough. God damn. You're not white. You're not Black. But if you can pick either race like you claim you can, then why not pick the white, the one who has the dominance, the power in society? Oh, it's because you can't. Delay the DMV, lock that door for you right in your face. Slam. Fuck out of here. Get the heck out of here.
I grew older and I started working in the television field and in the field of social justice. I've never been anything other than they don't know what I am. They're always questioning, is she Black? Is she white? What difference does it make? That's number one. Number two, when I was younger, I was raised in a predominantly Black neighborhood. My dad and mother stayed together until I was about 8 years old. And then my dad married a Black woman. And so therefore she pretty much raised us and kind of put all the stuff in us.
Put all this stuff in. So, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me your whole white family disowned you, right? Left you alone, right? And you was raised by your Black daddy and his Black wife. Okay.
And I really didn't get to know any part of my white family. They disowned us because they said, and I will quote this, I will have nothing to do with raising nigger children. That's what my grandmother and my grandfather told my mother, who's no longer here on the earth, that they would have nothing to do with us. And so we knew nothing about our white side of our family. But does that mean that I didn't experience it growing up? No, it doesn't mean that because I've always been around all types of people all of my life. But my true experience and the way I grew up was 100% Black. And how do I identify is I am a Black woman. Just because my skin does not denote that. Girl, you better look at my hair, okay?
What? Your hair?
My hair is better now these days that we have all these great products, that are designed for multicultural women and for mixed women. But when I was younger, I looked like a nappy-headed, big fro chick.
Girl. That is offensive on so many levels. Look at my hair. I crunched it up to be nappy just for y'all today. The white version of nappy. I look unkept and unmaintained today. And this is supposed to be your Black identity? Bad hygiene? She just offended me greatly. I'm not gonna lie.
just looked like nobody could do anything with my hair. My mom didn't know what to do. My dad didn't know what to do. It wasn't until my dad married a black woman that she started being able to do something with my hair. And I started feeling like a human again and like I was beautiful.
When your daddy married that black woman, he shit, your mama said, oh, hell no. Bye. She called ghosts, didn't she?
I had reason and purpose to live.
So then, that's an interesting point of view. What if, Tony, there is a light-skinned black woman whose mother is black and whose father is black?
Yeah, and this is exactly, I think I'm glad you asked that question, because I feel like...
See, now I know this lady, Tammy, is biracial. Because now she's trying to put the dark-skinned black woman against the light-skinned black woman to make this a light-skinned versus dark-skinned thing. Now she's getting off topic of her own show. Y'all see this gaslighting? Y'all see this game this lady trying to play? But okay.
From both perspectives, this is honestly more so a societal problem. And that's why I even said I made a video about this on my YouTube channel when I said that I feel as if you honestly should identify what you feel you most fit. Because as you guys stated, Crystal and Mona Lisa, that from your cultural standpoint, you feel like you are a black woman. And that's like from your experience. That's like your experience completely. And I think from what Cynthia was saying was more so along the lines of people that don't have that cultural experience. And that's why I feel it just gets to be a very sticky situation, a sticky topic, because black women, we do honestly struggle with feeling represented and loved and identified, especially when it comes to just like something like hair texture. Growing up, all I saw on like YouTube, like it was, first of all, it was hard to find videos with women with my texture. I have like 4A, 4B hair. At first, it was just hard to find black women in general. Then you have black.
I don't even think white folk know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like just dealing with kinkier textured hair. And then, so when you're on these YouTube channels.
And look at them down there smiling and nodding like they part of the kinky club.
And then you start seeing women that do have curly hair, but it's not your curls. And that's what's being promoted all the time. And it honestly makes you question, is my hair beautiful? And it takes a lot and a lot of self-love and great parenting to make sure that you truly love yourself and embrace yourself. Because in media, what's considered pretty, if you are a black woman, a lot of the time, are light skin or women with like more European features and curlier textured hair. So that's why I would always consider it more of a societal problem, more so than a black versus mixed problem. There are people that feed into the stereotypes and feed into the issues, but it definitely is something that we see a lot because media is what we see every single day, and it is a problem in society.
Yeah. Crystal, yes, go ahead, Mona Lisa.
I'm sorry, Tammy. Can I say this? I mean, I want to interject that. I would like us to possibly consider the idea that there's black on black jealousy.
Bitch, I'm sick of this shit. Bitch, no. See, I'm on the day I decide to go live and not curse. Here we go with this BS. There is no, I said, but there is no black on black jealousy. Number one, you're not black. Number two, we allowed yourself to ingratiate yourself in our culture. So it's a spit in our face to say that we then jealous of you. Like, bro. No, we not. Of what? What are we jealous of? Honey, look at you. Look at you. On your best day, you can never look better than me. So jealous. And I can imagine when we were both kids. Girl. You don't look prettier than my prettiest dark-skinned friend. You don't look prettier than my ugliest dark-skinned friend. You don't look prettier than the ugliest black girl. I know, child. Girl, stop it. With your gray eyes and your crunched up, dyed blonde hair. It seems like she do a lot to look white for her to be trying to claim black. Where's your raven hair? Black on black jealousy. It's not black on... If it was jealousy, maybe it would be black on biracial jealousy. But black on black jealousy, what is this? Black on black crime? Like, that's the same shit white people say. So it's like you might try to say you're black identified, but psychologically you are white. Because you're doing white talking points. Period. Sick of this shit. Ain't nobody jealous of y'all, bro. Like, nobody is jealous of you guys. Okay? Let me go to her page. See what we jealous of. Listen to this bullshit.
Black on black jealousy. Like, I have never been discriminated by more people in my life than black people.
What?
The white people don't do this to me.
Wait, pause. You mean to tell me you have never been discriminated against by more people? I can't even get it out. The worst discrimination you've ever experienced were from the hands of black people. When you just said your white grandmother, your white auntie, your white auntie, your white granddaddy, your white uncles, your white mama, everybody abandoned you and left you to your own recognizance with your black daddy and his black wife. But you have never been discriminated against as much. You've never experienced racism like you have from black women. In particular, she said black women, y'all heard her. So, biracials got a problem with black women. They're trying to take our place, and since we fighting back and not letting them, we're the bad guy. But your white lineage isn't the bad guy for saying, hey, you not white. Don't come over here with that white shit. You stay over there with them niggers because you're not white. But the worst discrimination you ever felt was where? On the playground? And I say this all the time, a lot of biracials be having this superiority complex to where it's not that we're jealous of you or don't like you, it's because you act like a complete and utter bitch. And we not rocking with that. Like, bro, stop it. So that's where the rejection comes in at. Not out of jealousy, not out of spite. It's because your attitude stunk. And you think you're better than somebody when you're not. We all going to this disenfranchised public school. We all are here. So, like, it's given very much you just like me. So, stop acting like you better. Like, how dare you spit in the face of the one race of people that decides to be cool with you? Disrespectful. So, see, I knew she was going there. I was mad when they brought up hair. But this pissed me off to all festivity. Jealous. Girl, stop. My lips, my eyes, my skin, I'm matching. Everything on me match. And then look at you. That shit purple, pale, right, like, look at them. Look how Cynthia looking at like, what? What? She is real jealousy. Here we go with this jealous shit. The dark-skinned girl understands.
Brothers and sisters do it to me. Dark-skinned black women have treated me like, how dare you even call yourself black? You don't know anything about being black.
You don't.
And my light-skinned sisters have said, because you got that skinny nose and those tiny lips is why you can get away. You're a passe blanc, as they say in New Orleans. That means pass for white.
Cynthia, you're itching and you're squirming in your seat over there. Are you jealous?
I am.
Are you jealous?
No, I'm actually offended at the black woman because all.
Baby, you have to put that down. You can see on the corner.
All I'm hearing is why it's beneficial for biracial people to identify as black, but they're not thinking about how that's a detriment to black women. And so for me, if I'm sitting here with two black parents and a biracial person that has a white parent and a black person is saying that they're black, then that has to make me question, what am I?
Exactly.
Am I a lesser black woman? Because we certainly don't, like, we don't share the same phenotype, we don't share the same genetic makeup, we don't share the same hair texture. It is very clear that Crystal and Mona Lisa have a different parent than I do. It is very, very clear. They have a different phenotype than I do. So for biracial people even to go with the narrative that they're being discriminated against by black women because black women want to keep our identity to ourselves because we understand how you benefit from our identity, not only in the white community, but you benefit in the black community as well.
Exactly.
So I just think that biracial women have zero respect for black women. I think they don't like black women.
They don't.
Because if you did, you would consider how you're co-opting of our identity rather than just sticking to your own, which is biracial. Then you can't possibly care. Like, why are you discounting your white parents? That's what I don't understand. And why won't you classify as white?
Crystal, that's
They have to answer this question because they didn't answer the first question. What's the problem with you claiming biracial? So they damn sure ain't gonna answer why we not gonna classify as white. We know why they ain't classifying as white because they can. She already said at the DMV, the ghetto white lady told her, honey, you gotta drop a black bud, check black. Next. So that door is closed. Boop. They can't classify as white. We allowed them to come over here and chill with us because we feel sorry for them for being rejected. And this is how y'all treat us. You say we jealous of y'all. You say that you are us. And I'm telling you, segregation stops a lot of social problems. And then look at her. This is Mona Lisa. This is a fat white lady. Okay, this is a fat white lady. That is who? Where is she? Girl. Come on, you better see now. This is how she really look, y'all, with her hair straight. Come on, and this is your biracial daughter. Like, come on. Oh, this is your black husband. See, that's why she thinks somebody jealous of her. Because these black men are always making these biracials think they better than us and somebody jealous of them. Just like Hazel E. Mama told her, oh, they jealous of you, baby. The ugliest thing. See, this is what she look like. This is what she really look like. That hair is straight. Come on, man. And then I'm pretty sure she bronzed and tanned for this. That is a white lady. This lady need to be on Cynthia G, who they really choose. That's a white lady. Ooh, with baby teeth. I wonder if she need to get them gums pushed back. They have surgery for that now, mama. Look at this. This is a white lady. This is a white lady. No, she don't have edge control on, girl. You don't need that. That's going to put all kind of build up in your hair. Like, what are we not seeing? Why don't we see that this is a black passing? This lady, like, come on. Of course, in the more recent picture, she gonna try to look more ethnic because she had this discussion. That's why Monday her hair still looking a hot mess. Look at this. Look at this. This is her. We're gonna leave this picture right here. This is her. That's Mona Lisa. Talking about some jealousy, ma'am. Ma'am, you're not having the black experience, ma'am.
It's a good question. Why won't you classify as white? There's an old movie, and it's a classic, The Imitation of Life. There's a biracial woman who refuses to identify as black. I mean, in all honesty, don't you benefit and privilege? Aren't you privileged to be biracial more so than a black woman, Crystal?
Absolutely not. You know, actually, for me, I find it offensive to.
She lying, bitch. If you wasn't identifying yourself as black, ma'am, you wouldn't be nominated for an NAACP Image Award. You probably wouldn't have got cast in the like 3 roles that we saw on your IMDb. This lady is a liar. She lied and said her mama was biracial. She is lying. You a liar, liar.
To hear that, because at the end of the day, I feel we do get discriminated from on both sides. It's not a benefit being, identifying as black. It's not a benefit identifying as white. We don't fit on either side. Black women clearly, I feel like, don't like racial women for the simple fact that we're not 100% black, which again is not our choice. Secondly, I don't identify as white because my white side of my family is not all white.
So now she admitted she got a white side. Because at first she didn't have no white in her family. Her mama was Bayesian. Girl. This lady.
They are themselves biracial. So how am I going to identify as something that I am not completely of just because my skin tone is a lot fairer?
So if you're not biracial,
hold on, a lot fairer like my mother. Is that what she said?
Why are you representing biracial then?
I represent myself as black, and I stated that when she asked what I
Let's take a quick break.
No. Get her, Cynthia. Get her, Cyn. Eat her. Ooh, eat her ass up.
Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack, where the business of being black today is biracial people. What should they be identified as? Tony, Mona Lisa said that when she was born, her grandparents, who are white, said, I want to have nothing to do with that N-word child. And I'm presuming, Mona Lisa, they stuck to that till the day they died.
They did.
So how...
Want to join the 6-figure club? Google and other tech companies are hiring hundreds of thousands of workers
I guess she biracial too, huh? She black
over
too.
400 of the hottest technology.
Does that gel with what we're talking about today, Tony, in terms of her identifying as white, but white people won't welcome her, and then it seems as if black people aren't willing to accept biracial people either?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can't fully speak to that, mainly because I am not
I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired of her. I ain't gonna even lie. I know what
It's
you're
white,
say.
which we know white is closed. We know that white.
I see a lot of mixed people, biracial people, whatever you want to identify that group of people as, identifying with one side more than the other, because from what I'm saying, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, this is not my experience, but it seems as if the Black side has been more welcoming, like they're not going to completely shun you out of their lives because you are considered a mixed child.
Well, Cynthia, Mona Lisa says Black people discriminate against her more than white people, but then in the same in the same experience, she says that her white grandparents completely disowned her. So where is a position for biracial people
in biracialism?
If blacks or whites won't welcome them.
So
Biracial.
here's what I find to be very interesting and typical of what biracial people tend to do. They will say that, I can't identify as white, which we know white is closed. We know that white is a protected identity because there's power that comes with exclusivity. So whiteness is off the table. It's just not an option. And that's the reality of why biracial people don't identify as white, because they can't. But I'm pretty sure they will love the social prestige and privilege that comes with being white, but they don't have that option. So what they do is they want to bogart into the Black community, specifically on Black women, and say, I'm Black, I want your identity because my white side won't let me use theirs. And if you don't allow me to use it, then I'm going to call you racist. But there's nothing more racist than, number one, your white parent disowning you because you're Black, and then not even allowing you to identify as white because you're Black. But yet they don't have a beef with the white community because they can't be white. They have a beef with the Black community who won't, or Black women, because we don't want them taking our identity because there's negative consequences about that. That's why I'm saying biracial people don't care about Black
Mona Lisa. I want her to jump in here. Mona Lisa, do you not identify as white because you can't identify as white, as Cynthia G said?
No, that's absolutely incorrect. And
with a lying ass. That's why that's my mother. Mother sin. I'm gonna have to do a whole. I don't edit, but bitch, I will edit for you. I am gonna make a collab of your greatest moments, and I'm just gonna save it for myself. That's my mother. She read, didn't she? So eloquently. Let me take my glasses get tightened up. Y'all, you I hate when they do this. Look, y'all. Just like, girl, look. Girl, you so old. Girl, look. The Burberry is gone. Look. I wear my glasses. I ain't gonna spend no money on glasses and not wear them. But, baby, normally they real tight, but I've been had it for years, so. A year. Play. Just listen to this lie.
Never said it was racist either. I said jealous. Let's consider the word jealousy here. I don't consider, let me just say this. From the 60s to about the 80s, they forced me, the government, meaning by my driver's license, by, everything that I had to fill out paperwork-wise, they forced me to choose that I had to identify as Black. My internal being struggled with the idea that I wanted to be both, because my mother was still present in my life, even though she was, divorced from my father. She was still present, and I still. She wasn't married to your dad. Stop lying. But look. I don't.
Y'all heard her when she slipped her tongue because I want to be. She caught herself. Watch. Go back. Just a little bit.
I don't feel like in any way, shape, and form, as we started to move into the 90s and the 20s and stuff like that, or the 2000s, as we started moving into that, I started to see the evolvement of mankind, and I started benefit to see of being Black. Younger people are starting to come to the table and demand that multicultural and everything that I had to fill out paperwork-wise, they forced me to choose that I had to identify as Black. My internal being struggled with the idea that I wanted to be both, because my mother was still present in my life.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Divorced from my father.
She don't just admit I wanted to be white, bro. She was just both. When you say both, this is both, but white. That's her mouth was, bro. She was about to say white, y'all. Like, there was no honesty on this panel at all. They were stuck trying to support their narrative that they are trying instilling our Blackness to where they wasn't even being honest. This girl Crystal is lying about the genetic makeup of her mother. She's lying about the texture of her hair. They're all just a bunch of liars. Liar, liar, pants on fire. She won't even admit that she wanted to classify as white and couldn't.
She was still present, and I still got to experience her. But, you know, I don't feel like in any way, shape, and form as we started to move into the 90s and the 20s and stuff like that, or the 2000s, as we started moving into that, I started to see the evolvement of mankind, and I started to see that the younger people are starting to come to the table and demand that multicultural and biracial individuals be seen and be heard and be categorized as a particular person. I was just filling out my health insurance paperwork yesterday, and that was one of the boxes I could check, and I just got so elated. I didn't know what to do.
You say that? You mean biracial?
It said multicultural.
Multicultural.
And I was totally shocked. I was just shocked, but I checked it because I was like, you know, at the end of the day, biracial, multicultural, race, all of that to me, you know, still is a myth, you know, as to all of the terminologies and the definitions and stuff like that. You know, I feel like a Black woman because I've experienced the Black culture and the experience of being Black. And I love that. I also would never deny my mother's Italian white heritage, ever. Ever. I've never been ashamed of it either. The only thing is that I just have to constantly I'm 55 years old and I still have to this day, you know, define who I am the minute I walk into a room. And that is quite aggravating on everything.
I can imagine. Crystal, are you not representing yourself as white because white people won't let you in their circle?
Exactly.
Not at all. Like I said, my mother was raised by my grandfather, who is a Black. So again, you know, she's Bayesian. She's not just, and she's Punjabi. So she's not just white just because she is fair complected, you know. So there's no all white, 100% white in my family. We're all biracial on that side. And then my Black side, we're Black and Native American.
Hold on. Pause. This girl is lying. Y'all hear this lady lying? First of all, her white mother, especially looking by the age of this lady, the Panthers wasn't letting biracials in. So your white daddy, her white daddy did not raise her. Her Black, what she said, her Black grandfather was a Black Panther. I need a name. Name the Black Panther who copulated with a white woman and had a biracial woman who was allowed to stay in the Panthers, because Panthers didn't allow that. It wasn't no interrace mingling. It wasn't no none of that. So explain to me how maybe the Black Panthers now, because they soft and they not about that life. But back then, the Huey Newton, the Geronimo Pratt days, the Fred Hampton days, baby, no man, wasn't none of that. Wasn't none of that. Especially in the conception of the Black Panthers, especially in the conception of the Black Panthers on the West Coast, because they was in California. Remember that. It wasn't no mixed people coming up in there through there. And then she said on her father's side, who she said was 100% Nigerian, he the blackest of all Black. Now all of a sudden he Black and Native American. So what is she? And we know Native American was whitewashed a long time ago. I explained that in my $5 Indian series. So we already know that they're mixed with Portuguese, Spaniard, and whatever colonizer pricked they mama. So I'm trying to figure out, why is she lying to suit what narrative, bro? Like, this lady is lying. She is lying. I want to see a picture of her daddy now to quantify everything she's saying. Because quite frankly, she's a liar. She did not come to this panel to have an honest discussion about biracialism and biracial identity. She came to affirm that she is still going to co-opt and steal my identity. That's what she came on this panel to do. Because she said now she got this white white mama who this woman was raised by is biracial and was raised by Black Panthers. Why she lying on her poor mama in her death? Why? Your mother's dead and you disgrace her and dishonor her in this way for all of us to look at. That's that biracial pathology that Sin be talking about. Like, where's your loyalty? You have none. Shame on you.
So it's not any part of me that is like, oh, society has changed. I can't identify as white. I don't want to. I don't have a reason to.
Right. You don't have a reason to because it's not beneficial for you. Because if you go over there and say you're white, you're going to be on the bottom of the totem pole. You're not going to get no respect. Matter of fact, you're going to be looked down even worse because you do have that black blood, that questionable black blood. Because I don't see it. You know what I mean? So you're not going to be as privileged. You're not going to be considered pretty. No, a white man is not going to want you. He's going to go for aesthetically. If a white man's going to date outside his race, because most of the time when I see white men date outside their race, they'll go for somebody who is aesthetically white. Now, I mean black. Now, biracials tend to date biracials like Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz. You know what I'm saying? They have a biracial child. Like, bro. And I saw in Cynthia comments, these comments somewhere. I want to go look at Irene's video, so I'm trying to wrap this up because she's going down a mixed race rabbit hole, and y'all know I love her commentary. So, anyway, like even Zeldanya said that I'll black it up to play Aaliyah. So, like, they in and out of blackness and whiteness as they see benefit to it. This lady is lying. Liar!
I don't have a reason to.
Tony, do you think biracial people are confused about their...
Exactly. I don't have a reason to claim white because it's beneficial over here to be black. That's quintessentially what she just said.
Your identity?
I would say there definitely is confusion with identity. I think they have to grow up with that all their lives, as we've already heard from two women that could attest to this. They have said that they have had struggles with picking a side, trying to see who they are. But I think I just want to speak on more so the fact that, though I think we made it clear that biracial, they might be raised by a certain culture and identify with that culture, but I think that what's missing is more so the privilege that biracial people have over Black women in many, many categories. And though you may not know because that's not your experience, but just, once again, like growing up, I could just remember in middle school, like all the Black boys would always say, oh, I like her because she's mixed, or she's light-skinned, she has curly hair. Like, you hear that all the time. I don't think it becomes a jealousy. That's why I don't even want to put the whole Black women are jealous of biracial women and biracial women are jealous of Black women. I don't want to call it a jealousy thing. I think it's just when you constantly hear, especially darker skinned Black women, constantly hear that this group of people.
Hello, Queen. Are you wanting to leave your corporate job, but worried about losing your income or possibly risking your livelihood? It's time to shatter that fear. The biggest question you need to
people are more attractive, and that's all they hear. That's why they may say, you don't have the same experience that I have as a dark-skinned Black woman, or you don't have the experience as I have as a Black woman, period. Because there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not saying that your struggles don't exist, but there definitely is a privilege over Black women in many, many, many categories, whether in media or even like working in the day-to-day life.
Crystal, Tony, and Cynthia both have suggested that you have a privilege that they don't. And there has to be some truth to that. Do you see that at all?
No, I feel like it's a stereotype.
So you don't see the music videos that use light-skinned women with curly hair. You don't see the boxes when you go to the hair salon and the representation as they the representation that they use on those boxes for
she
hair.
She don't think her mama is white, so she don't see nothing. She's blind.
There's just so much that.
I mean, I visually see it. Yes, I'm not going to deny that I don't see, a lot of music videos that have lighter, fair complected women, but I feel like it is more, I don't see it as a privilege. I see it as, being used, I don't feel like we fit in on either side. So I don't see it as like,
don't fit in on either side because you're biracial. You fit in
I'm fair
in the biracial category.
I feel like it's disgusting, personally,
They would feel a lot better if they would just claim biracial and commune with other biracials. They're like, you wouldn't feel the need to keep up or destroy anybody. And I do admit they are sexually exploited, but y'all don't put y'all feet down. I don't hear the light skin when Chris Brown say no dark is allowed. I didn't hear no light skin women say, well, we're not gonna go on Chris Brown parties no more. We're not gonna go in his section no more. We're not gonna support him anymore. They're like, you can say you're disgusted by it, but you're still participating in it. Like, so everything this lady say is a lie and it's very hypocritic.
And again, I'm gonna go back to my siblings being darker complected. Like, I don't see like I have a privilege over my sisters. You know,
but
I
just
feel
in
like
that experience alone, would you say that your sisters who are darker than you have received treatment that wasn't equal to yours? Because what I do know, and this irritates me to no end, when there are two little kids and one is light skinned with the curly hair and then there's a dark skin, there's always more attention paid to the light skin with curly hair, and there's always this, you're so pretty, oh, she's so pretty, so she grows up to believe in her beauty. But then the darker skinned woman, not so much.
You know,
did you witness that with your siblings?
I've seen that in society, but not.
This lady's about to lie. Here we go.
In my personal family, my father was very much, you know, we are all equal. So I think why it bothers me so much is because we were raised the same, and it was kind of the opposite. Because my dad is you know,
Nigerian and native, so he's fair skinned as well. If she's telling the truth about that Nigerianism, you know, because again, that's a country, that's a nationality, it's not a race. So we don't know what he really is. Because we know she's a liar because she said her mother is biracial, you know, so we know she likes to fib a lot. You know, she said this is a black woman raised by Black Panthers. So we know she's a little fibber and she'll say anything to suit her narrative.
My sisters seem to get the more praise. Like, I was jealous of my sisters for the fact that they had more melanated skin, that they're...
Okay, so now you admit that you don't like black women. You were jealous of your sisters because they were actually, your daddy was actually in their lives and helped raise them while your white mama was left in the ghettos of Compton to deal with a black baby. And I haven't heard you say anything about your grandparents other than lying and saying that they were Black Panthers. So your mother was shunned out of the white community as well, you know, and you were being forced to be raised in the ghetto with them Negroes and not even with your Nigerian father because he was somewhere parenting your siblings that he had potentially with his wife. Now, this is strictly conjunction on my part, but I think her mother was a side piece who thought she was going to take somebody else's man. She's not the ideal white woman that another white man would get with. Let's just be honest about that. You know what I'm saying? Her nose is a little fatter and her lips are very thin, so it doesn't like match up aesthetically. So she's in the white world, she's ugly. But over here to these Negroes who worship whiteness, they'll get with her and impregnate her. However, if he really is Nigerian, he's definitely going to, especially if she was born in the 60s, like during the Panther days, because I hear their daughter said something about Panthers. Then back then, they did marry black, and they had more than one wife. Before they was able to afford a white woman, they had a black wife, you know, things of that nature. So it sounds like that he raised his black children. So that's where her disdain for black women comes from. And we know the other lady's disdain for black women come from the fact that she's married to a black man who got her thinking she's better than. So now that we've dissected those mentalities, let's go back.
Her hair was a different texture. I felt like there was something wrong with me.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. We'll take a quick break. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I'm Tammy Mack, and the business of being black today is identifying biracial ethnicity, if you will. I have with me today content creator Tony Brian, criminal justice activist Mona Lisa Johnson, NAACP Image Award nominated actress Crystal Jasmine, influencer and YouTuber Cynthia G is here with us. Before the break, I was asking Crystal, had she experienced her own privilege in terms of being biracial? She said, no, not really. Mona Lisa, what about you?
I'm going to say, I'm ashamed to admit this, but the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I have some stepsisters, and my stepsisters are very dark-skinned black. And we've gone, and cousins also who are very dark-skinned. And we've gone to stores before, and I'm walking around kind of minding my own business, and then they're just maybe on the other side of me, and the next thing we know, we watch somebody following them because they're being accused of stealing, but we're in a high-end store. They're not even looking at me. I've experienced that. I've experienced having to show my birth certificate and all. But then they say that they're not. Then they say that they'll benefit. She like, see how they just wishy-washy to suit their own narrative? On my birth certificate, it says Negro. as my race, right? It says Negro.
She is so upset that it says Negro. You see that face? Like, she is upset. It says Negro. Well, of course it says Negro. Look at the year you was born in, and they protect whiteness. That the one drop rule protects whiteness. So anybody who's coming there as biracial, they're going to classify you as Negro. Like, come on. Like, call it what you want. Like, that's what Cynthia G just told her. You could not, that door was closed on you. You could not be white. So, you know, you had no choice in the matter. But now that you do, be biracial. You can be biracial. You can be what you are. Look, it says Negro. And who just walk around with their birth certificate showing people, see, look, I'm black. Here's my birth certificate. See, it says I'm black. See right there, Negro. Bitch.
As my race. And I've had white people say to me, why would you want to leave that on your birth certificate? Get yourself a newer birth certificate where they don't even show the color or race anymore, and claim who you really are. I mean, look at you. You look white.
Claim who you really are. You look white. So claim biracial, multicultural, claim whatever you want to claim. But baby, you are not a black woman. Okay? Like, come on. Even your white homegirl had to tell you, bro, you is tripping. Or that might have been a black homegirl, I don't know. But you tripping. You just scragglied up your hair.
I've definitely experienced the privilege side of it, but do I want to do that? Or do I want to live in that energy? The answer would be no. I want to be truthful to who I am on both sides.
Which is biracial.
The experience that you've had with your siblings in the store and they being pinned with being thieves and you not so much, does that give you a sense of guilt? Do you feel guilty if you acknowledge your non-black side?
I did when I was younger, yes. I feel like I want to cry now. I absolutely felt that when I was younger because I felt like I was betraying my family and betraying me as a human. But as I got older, I started realizing I didn't choose this. This is how God made me. And because this is how God made me, this is just who I am. I can no longer apologize. And I will not apologize for who I am anymore.
But ask you to apologize, we ask you to be honest.
And I won't be ashamed of it.
And say that you're biracial.
Crystal, do you feel a sense of guilt when it comes to acknowledging the white side of you? You don't really acknowledge that there is a white side.
Not fully. I mean, I guess because my white side doesn't really acknowledge their white part of themselves either. So it's kind of hard to, acknowledge something that wasn't really taught to me.
This lady could pass just like Meghan Markle. We hadn't seen Meghan Markle's mama. I bet she wish her mama would have stayed where the fuck she was at because she was a white passing. This lady straighten out that hair, girl. Straighten out that hair. You will be white or a spicy Latina at best, which is a European Spanish person.
Necessarily. So, they don't, they identify as mixed. I identify as mixed. My black side, I identify as black. So
I identify as mixed. My black side, I identify as black. So basically, you use your race interchangeably. You just decide what you're gonna be that day and what's more beneficial for you at that time. That's what it seems like she just said to me. Which is what us as black women are trying to counteract and fight against. We gave you a race to nest in so that you could be raised amongst somebody and not feel like you're shunned. And this is your things. Just steal my whole identity. Identity theft.
So I've got the attitude, and that's just how I was.
The attitude? What attitude is she talking about that she has? Could it be that character of a black woman that, you know what I'm saying, that Cardi B does? That's what the attitude she says that she has? Are you serious?
I was raised. I can't help it.
Cynthia G, who should be able to say who is white, who is black? Or let's just say who is black. Who should be able to say who is black?
Well, I think who should be able to say who is black people. But I do recognize that we live in a society where, again, whiteness is closed off. So people who visibly are not looking white do not have the option of being white. And I think what Mona Lisa said was a contradiction, because in one breath she said that she was filling out an application and she was forced to put black on there, but then she said that she's identifying as black because she wants to, not because white isn't an option. Well, if you're being forced to identify as something, then one of them is not an option to you. But I think black people should be determining it. I think we need to disregard the one-drop rule that wasn't really about who's actually black. It was actually about keeping money out of the black community. It wasn't about establishing a person as black. It was literally to turn an entire white man into a black man for the purposes of keeping wealth out of the community. And then for Crystal to say she does not recognize the privilege as she's entering into the black community where whiteness is put on a pedestal and proximity to whiteness is put on a pedestal is disingenuous. Furthermore, Bayesian is not a race. So, I mean, I'm trying to get out of your mother's culture and into her actual race, because Bayesian is not a race. So she could very well be fully white and you're biracial, which is what you came to represent, and because you're driving the argument for biracials, while then claiming to be black. I think this is just, especially when Mona Lisa stating that black women are jealous of biracial people, this is a gaslighting technique to bully black women into handing over their identity to a woman that has herself admitted that she does not present as black. When I walk out of my home, no one is confusing me but for anything other than black. But Crystal would get questioned on her blackness, and Mona Lisa certainly would get questioned on her blackness. I would not. So to disregard the experiences of black women and the consequences of you identifying.
You better talk your talk, Cyn.
As a black woman when you're not is actually your racism rather than ours. I think it's a complete disregard. I'm not comfortable with the assertion that I'm not even needed in the creation of myself. Essentially, for you to be black, that means that a white woman can give birth to a black woman, and black women are so insignificant that we're not even needed in the creation of ourselves.
Mona Lisa, she mentioned that
they don't know what to say. Cyn got them stuck, baby. Cyn, look at her. She like, And she called out your white mama without even glowing on your Instagram. She know that you won that pathology. She done told you already that the biracial with the white mom is problematic in the black community, and you denied having a white mama. But you are that problematic biracial that she's talking about. You are that biracial that she's talking about that has that same superiority pathology in the black community and that's running rampant through it. And you try to say that you're not because your mama is Bayesian, whatever the fuck that is. We still don't know where Beja is for her to be Bayesian. But okay, we did find Belgium and a Belgian. But okay, so this woman is what gave you your white pathology. You know what I'm saying? So that is why you think you just co-opt what we got going on over here. And baby, you cannot, Crystal. You cannot, Mona Lisa. And she looks so proud of Cynthia right now. If she wasn't following her before, she following her now.
The whole story, obviously isn't told, so you can't necessarily. It's
not an assumption, ma'am. Don't fix your mouth to say assume, because you said that the lady was white. You was in the DMV. You went asked her back in the day, in the olden times, where I'm biracial, where's that box or what to do. She said, if you got to drop a black blood, then you check black, honey, and said next. So at that point, you were forced to claim black. And now you're trying to say Cynthia's saying something out of context? This is your story. This is what you said.
Assume that there was a contradiction there. Again, I said this is when I was in my very young years, in my 20s, okay? So in my 20s, when I go to get my driver's license and somebody tells me and refuses to grant me a driver's license unless I make a choice that they want me to make, I was forced into it. So I will still stand on that. And then I will also stand on the fact that as I got older, I definitely chose to be black because I realized as as time went on, yeah, I am a multicultural woman. Absolutely, I'm a multicultural woman. But when it comes down,
you hear the hypocrisy in that? So yeah, I was forced to claim black. Now a minute ago she said she wasn't. Now she's saying she was forced to be black, and then she's saying, and then I decided to stay black, girl, because you had got accustomed to it. You saw them black boys was treating you like you was something special, even though you look like a mongoose. I don't want to bring this. I don't want to insult the woman, but that's just the truth. And she should be in who they really choose, because I want to see the white man that would date her. So it's like I could get a fine ass Brad with some money before you could, sis. Let's just be honest. So I'm just saying, like, y'all, I'm so upset at the way that this whole panel is going and has gone thus far, because the host is now calling out the contradiction and the lies as they sit there and lie and say, oh, well, you can't use this. You use this out of context. Well, I'm using it in the context in which you said it. You just said you was forced to say you were black, and then you decided that you liked it over there. So now I'm just going to say the identity of the black woman. That's what she just said. But when Cynthia puts it in layman's terms, oh, no, that's not what happened. Girl.
To what do you have to identify as? I have to identify as the black culture, because I really don't know any other culture outside of that. So I don't feel like that is any way, shape, or form conflicting information. That's just saying, this is what happened to me, and this is where I am today. I would love it if I could just say I'm multicultural completely just leave me alone on whether I'm black, whether I'm white, whether I'm whatever. And you're going to be around me, and you're going to feel like you're around a black woman all the time. But I definitely don't discount the most beautiful, powerful woman in this world, and that is the black woman. I don't disregard her. I don't discount her. And I do not, I repeat, I do not.
I don't disregard her. You know, that's how you know she's... It's like, no, she's not black. Why she sit up here and say she black?
Think that she doesn't have the right to stand tall and proud in who she is without the infiltration of other and outside influences and things that are going on in our culture. So for me,
in our culture, but yet you said it was okay, but then it's not okay. So is it okay for her to stand proud of her blackness and say you cannot enter, or is it jealousy? Which one is it? This lady's just double talking and backpedaling and forward-pedaling. She bitch tread water and stay biracial. I would love to say I'm multicultural. What did it say it?
Me, I celebrate the woman, and I want you to know that, Cynthia.
But you can't celebrate the black woman and then say the black woman is racist and jealous because we have an issue with you identifying as a black woman.
She didn't racist. She said jealous.
Well, she said she's experienced more racism from black people than she has from white people. I'm assuming, based off of the context, it sounded like it applied towards the identity of blackness and restricting blackness from her. That's what it came off as to me. But she can clarify that if she would like to.
Yeah, I think you're seeing two tunnel vision and not allowing yourself to broaden your horizon and your thought process. You know.
Hold on, bitch. See, fuck. I'm trying to, don't curse. But you're not supposed to insult this woman's intelligence, you know what I'm saying, or her mental capability, or her aptitude to open up her mind and understand different perspectives, because she's calling you out on your BS. You are sitting there lying, and you're double talking. At this point, you triple talking. You know what I mean? And now, but you want to say that she's seeing tunnel vision? No, bitch, you are lying. You are lying and you being hypocritic. Baby, don't insult sin like that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Don't insult someone just because they do not agree with you. That's that white person tactics. That's what black males do. We talk to them about their white worship. Don't do that. That's gaslighting.
So when I said let's challenge the thought of whether or not it's jealousy, I didn't say I think black women are jealous. I think that's a great conversation to have because it's been brought up in my life multiple times. You know, am I jealous of them? Are they jealous of me? Is this a jealousy situation? I wanted us to have some proactive conversation. I think you're kind of pinpointing certain things and pushing the envelope to the point where you're pushing words and thoughts on people, and particularly me. And so, you know, I definitely don't do anything but celebrate the black woman, and you or no one else can tell me otherwise.
Crystal, Cynthia said that your mother, how you identify your mother is not a race. It's not an ethnicity. You want to speak to that?
I really agree with Mona Lisa. I mean, there has been no point where we are saying, or I am saying, let me speak for myself. There's no point where I have said anything negative towards the darker complected Black woman. And it seems as though, Cynthia is very much in attack mode in regardless what we say. I can't help how my family raised me. I can't help. I'm from East Oakland, California. I was raised around nothing but Black people. My whole family. I was raised with my Black side of my family. So again, if that's how I identify, whether you agree, don't agree, that's not really my concern. I mean, I have never bashed a darker complected Black woman. I love my siblings for the complexion.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back on Business of Being Black. Welcome back to Business of Being Black with Tammy Mack. I am Tammy Mack on foxSoul. Tony, what do you think about this conversation? Crystal and Mona Lisa both say that they're in no way trying to diss the Black woman.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of like on both sides at this point. I feel as if there's a lot of information just not being understood fully. I mostly identify, I will say, with Cynthia. I think because we're both
because she being honest and telling the truth. That's why. Experience. That's why. Because she's being honest and telling the truth. She's the only one on this panel coming from a perspective of reality. That's why. That's why you identify with her. You're pandering to the lighter ladies, which a lot of Black dark skinned women do. We tend to pander. If it wasn't for our light-skinned sisters, to be honest, who do have a certain privilege in their fair skin, just saying, man, F that, this what it is, a lot of us would still be kissing light-skinned ass because we pedestalize it, because our darkness is demonized so much until we needed our light-skinned sisters to have our back. Let's just be real. There is no light skin versus dark skin. There's only dark skin and light skin lifting each other up and saying, hey, your black is good, but we got to get these biracials up out of here. You know what I mean? So stop it. I remember when I used to get down on myself for being so dark when we was a kid. My light skin partner used to be like, say, man, F him. You know you cute. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to start this contention between this light skinned girl and this dark skinned girl to get them to, you know what I'm saying, like earlier in the conversation, that bump heads. But I'm glad it didn't turn into that. And I'm glad Tony caught on it and she backed away from that argument altogether. But, of course, you identify with Cynthia because she is the only one that's being honest on this stage or panel. And here she go about to backtrack and about to be hypocritic.
This is in that regard. But I also feel as if Mona Lisa and Crystal are not necessarily being malicious. I think their wording is, it could be seen as a little offensive when it does come to identifying the Black woman's experience. And I'm hoping that it's not with malicious intent that they're saying in reference to.
They have a superiority complex.
So I was a little bit confused.
She picked up on those microaggressions that white people use, that these biracials are using. Tony picked up on it, but I hope it's not. No, call out those microaggressions. Call out that stereotypical behavior that they're saying they embody that makes them Black. Call it out, Tony, and stop kissing their ass. Cynthia, go get Tony.
To as well with Cynthia, when Mona Lisa said about Black women being jealous of mixed women, because I've never been jealous by now. When you said that you were just throwing it out there as an idea, something to talk about. So, but yeah, at that point, it was kind of like, yeah, I wouldn't ever say that me personally. I've never been jealous of a mixed woman. I just am very clear on what, from my experience, on how mixed women definitely do have a privilege. So I think what's being missed out on is definitely the privilege aspect, and just being able to identify, even if you personally don't think that you're better than a Black woman, I think we have to acknowledge the fact that in several scenarios, there are a lot of mixed women that do feel, I don't want to say a lot, but there are mixed women that do feel as if they are better than the Black woman.
A lot. There's a lot. See, you see what I'm saying about her pandering? There's a lot of biracials that think they better than Black women. Stop it. Just like Zendaya said, I turned down that role because I feel like it's for a Black person. Okay, well, what role was it? Was it a crackhead, a dope fiend? Was it a hooker prostitute in the ghetto with a having baby daddy drama? What negative stereotype did they want you to embody that you refuse to and say, nah, let a nigga do that? Like y'all start, y'all, everybody, they put these biracials up on pedestals. You know what I'm saying? That's and now that we're trying to be gatekeepers, we're wrong for it. Like stop it. We don't need no hero. We just need you to claim who you are. Be biracial. I need a hero. Like, no, we don't. We don't need nobody to cape for us. We got us. Why don't you go get y'all in biracialism? Be a biracialist. I bet, baby, you could put a suffix, a prefix on anything, baby.
Can we also say that if that is a thought of some biracial women, that thought has been perpetuated by American society?
For sure. By American society, even by Black men. And that
actually, it was created by American society and perpetuated by the biracials, because to perpetuate something is to keep it going. So they're keeping that superiority mentality going, but it's perpetuated by Black men putting them on this pedestal and by white men saying that you're not over here, you got to go over there. So they're not. That's not the origin of it. They're keeping it going. So that's in reverse, actually, Tammy. But let's go.
That's a lot of that is self-taught. Because like growing up, I was saying my little 6th grade self, we would hear little Black boys in that classroom saying that I want a mixed girl, or I want a woman that's Puerto Rican, Dominican, because they look better. That's what we were hearing. And it's definitely being pushed. The same exact ideas are being pushed from generation to generation. And it's because what we see in media. We don't see dark-skinned Black women. Black women, rarely we even see. If we do, they're lighter skin. They probably don't even pass my color. They're always seen as, these lighter women are seen as better than. And that's what's displayed and seen as greatness.
They call them yellow bones and red bones.
And that's all we...
No, they call them mixed exoticals. The yellow bone would be sin. A red bone would be, I can't think of nobody famous as the red bone right here right now at this point. Somebody that's red. But it's not them. These are white bones. And she clearly tans. Like, stop it. And she just wished she was in better lighting. Or she got in a darker setting because she didn't want to appear white. As white as she is.
We heard growing up.
Back in my day.
Yep.
Tell us about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I do commentary, and I actually recently just did a video on hair and Black women in our hair, and I actually mentioned mixed women and how they're...
And when I get in the water, it don't look all, it's not like, I don't be wanting to shake it like that, because it just
wake up and just go. No,
you gotta go up,
The chance at life. It's a very, in my opinion,
to, family secrets and,
I don't care about what y'all do.
Of course, an important aspect of that is the biracial pathology, because we know that the biracial people are coming from Black people. So it relates. And to be honest, a lot of that pathology I've seen on the panel, actually. So it actually directly relates to my content. But it's mostly towards Black women developing self-love, boundaries, expectations, and learning how to navigate their relationships in a manner that's going to be more conducive to their own success.
I've heard biracial people also say that even when they say they're not Black, they're biracial, they get grief from even that. I think Mona Lisa has said it here on the panel that she gets grief when she says white, when she says Black, when she says biracial. So how should one rectify or, that whole situation, Mona Lisa?
I wanted to say, let's just let Cynthia answer that. But she's a brilliant woman, and I don't want you to ever feel like you're gaslit, because that's not what I want to do. I just want to say, we're all human. Let's not lead with hatred. Let's lead with love, and let's just allow ourselves to say multicultural. Can we say that?
You can.
Would that be all right?
I have no problem with multicultural or biracial. That's what I was asking. What is the problem with identifying as what you are, which is biracial?
But if that's not a box to check, how do you do it?
It is a box.
Yeah.
Well, it is, though. There's many forms are catching up to the rise in multicultural people, so you can select more than one race, or there is categories. But I think that if this is something that's important to biracial people where they feel like they don't fit in either group, it's probably because you're not either group. You're a mixture of both of them. And perhaps that could give them something to work for, which is their own racial classification and identification because
so
they had
I want to kind of reel this in one word, everybody, in one word. How do we bridge the gap between biracial people and those who are Black? Tony, one word.
Work together. That's 2 words, but work together.
It's all good. Crystal, what you got?
Well, it's kind of a hyphenated word, self-love.
Ah, like it. Mona Lisa?
Love.
Cynthia G?
acknowledgement and empathy.
Love it, love it, love it. This concludes Business of Being Black with Tam and Max. Stick around for Hollywood Unlocked on foxSoul. Until tomorrow, everybody, it's a blessing to be in your box. Crystal, Cynthia G, Mona Lisa, and Tony, thank you so much.
Can we all say Cynthia G ate that panel up? And if they'd allow her to keep drilling, she'd have drilled a hole in them. I want her to bring this little girl on her panel all by herself. But, you know, they quiver at the prospect of being on her channel. You know what I'm saying? I think I covered all the white lies and the white hypocrisy and the embellishment of stories in order to suit their own narrative. These two ladies were very disingenuous about their racial identity or lack thereof, or the co-opting or stealing of the black race. So, yeah, this is Blackspan. Thank you, and I love you guys, and I am out. Ew.